Hey everyone, Kyle Walker here. If you love cars, fixing things, or just want to understand your vehicle better, you're in the right place. I share hands-on tips, smart driving advice, and straight-up car talk without the fluff. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around till the end. You don't want to miss what's coming up. Let's get into it.
For some reason, many people have formed a strong opinion that traffic tickets must be learned purely for the sake of passing the exam at a driving school. If you are thinking about how you can quickly learn traffic tickets, then first you need to get rid of such stereotypical thinking. Yes, to get a driver's license you really need to pass the exam. And for this you first need to learn the current traffic rules. But the acquired knowledge will be useful to you in everyday life in your new status of a driver. Traffic rules give you the opportunity to understand how to behave correctly on the road. This is directly related to the fulfillment of the main task of these rules. It is about preserving the life and health of all road users. The right approach to learning traffic rules. A person who wants to become a driver often encounters problems when studying the theoretical part of training at a driving school. The amount of information required for mandatory memorization is very impressive. Plus, the very language in which the rules of traffic rules are written is not the easiest to understand. It is far from the usual colloquial speech. Therefore, everyone is looking for solutions, how to learn traffic tickets as easily as possible and successfully pass all the exams. This will allow you to eventually get the long-awaited driver's license and fully prepared to drive your car on public roads. To begin with, you will need a certain set of tools, namely, smartphone or computer. The internet expands your opportunities for learning traffic rules. Only you should not be distracted by social networks and different news. You should focus on the task at hand. It is better to use a computer because it requires you to install different applications and programs for training, a collection of current traffic rules. It is important to take into account that the traffic rules are regularly amended. Therefore, it is unlikely to be a wise decision to learn from the collection of 2002 edition. Take only the most recent edition, patience. Many people call it a key component for successful and fast learning tickets. Therefore, you will need serious patience. It is better to put aside less important things for a while. If all this is at your disposal, then there is every chance to learn the tickets well, to pass the theoretical exams. And then it's a question of your driving skills, because everything does not end with theory. Much depends on how you start the whole process of studying traffic tickets. Responsible and patient future drivers do not face significant problems, which allows them to learn the rules in the shortest possible time. Before we tell you about the methods of accelerated learning, you need to understand the correct sequence of actions. First, study the material completely. You don't need to sit down at a computer, install programs, or take theory tests yet. Just take the rule book in your hands, sit in a comfortable chair, and reread it from start to finish. Do this carefully, reading every word. When the initial study of the material is passed, you can try to structure it. Everyone uses a different approach for this. Therefore, think about how exactly you think it is right to divide the traffic rules into categories and groups. Take an outline and put certain theses into it. Memorize the basic rules. To better store knowledge, you can talk through the text. The theses will become the basis. After reading just a few words from the outline, you will immediately remember what is said in this paragraph. When the outline is made, reread it. Make some adjustments to more accurately understand what you have written down. Now explain the rules of traffic rules to yourself. It is not necessary to outline and retell the entire collection at once. Proceed sequentially, studying section by section. Repeat, 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 and repeat. You should recite the rules and study the tickets you have passed every day. Accept that it is impossible to learn all the tickets in a few days. Never repeat the rules in the order they appear in the tickets or in the traffic book. If you do it in a scattered manner, the information will be easier to memorize for the future exam. If your loved ones can help you, do not refuse their services. They are able to fulfill the function of an examiner, that is, to ask you questions. Rest. Often a person is so enthusiastic about studying the rules of traffic rules that he forgets about his personal life and rest. You should not do this, as you will only overwork and burn out. But you cannot stop studying tickets for a few days. Try to devote at least 2 to 3 hours to this every day. It is scientifically proven that information is much better memorized and digest it in the morning. Therefore, distribute your day in such a way as to be able to devote time to studying in the morning, not before going to bed, when your head is loaded with other information and your brain is simply tired. Driving school lessons will not be enough. It is believed that attending classes at a driving school allows you to fully prepare for the exams. This is not true. To pass literally all the material is hardly possible. And frankly, not always future drivers come to all classes. Therefore, the best solution is to consolidate the past material at home. Use all kinds of memory. Another scientifically substantiated fact. To better memorize information, you need to use all your abilities. And memory is motor, auditory, and visual. Use text, images, audio lessons, and video instructions in your learning process. Do not forget to take notes. It's not so much necessary for having an outline itself. By writing something down, we remember it better. This is the interesting way our brain is organized, so it is worthwhile to take advantage of its potential as effectively as possible. Read also, what is the danger of error P0130 and how to fix it? There are several methods that allow you to really simplify and somewhat accelerate the mastering of information. And if you apply them together, you can achieve impressive results. Methods to accelerate and systematize learning. Literally every future driver wants to know how easy it is to learn traffic tickets without making special efforts and without spending a lot of time. Let's say at once that it is impossible. There is a lot of material. It must be mastered completely, and therefore it is definitely not possible to do without learning within 2 to 3 days. Everyone must choose for himself how to learn traffic tickets correctly in his situation. This is influenced by the peculiarity of thinking and the type of memory that is better developed in a person. In total, several methods can be distinguished, which in practice have proven their effectiveness: visualization, association, mnemotechnics, figurative thinking. Now we will tell about each method separately. Visualization. If you have a well-developed visual memory, then there should be no problem with how to easily memorize traffic tickets and learn all the rules. To begin with, buy a collection with the rules of the road, which is illustrated. There are special editions of this type. They are not difficult to find in bookstores. In these collections, there are visual images of objects, signs and objects, supplemented with text. This is how people with a developed visual memory will memorize information and complex text. Some people can easily memorize specific pages and features of illustrations with the questions in the ticket. Specialists have scientifically proven the high efficiency of the visual method of memorization. This way you can memorize complex and very large data. If you keep an outline while studying tickets, which is also extremely useful, draw illustrations and diagrams for better memorization. This will help to dilute the dry solid text. Another good assistant in studying tickets will be video hosting. On it there are many video clips, where the rules of the road are clearly depicted from real life or simply modeled situations. Association. Not all people manage to simply memorize the text and memorize it by heart. But there is an alternative method, how you can easily and quickly learn tickets from the collection of traffic rules. To do this, connect associative thinking. If you have studied the text and did not memorize anything from the illustrations, try to find some connection. The essence of this method is precisely in finding a regular connection that will combine information from traffic tickets and life examples. A vivid example of the associative method of memorization can be called a sign that prohibits entry. Everyone knows it as a brick, since it looks like it and has a red color. This is much easier to memorize. People with a developed associative thinking can easily find connections with almost all the rules, thereby remembering the material, and successfully pass the theoretical part of the exam before receiving the coveted driver's license. Mnemotechnics. Many experts know how to learn traffic tickets quickly and effectively. To do this, they recommend using the mnemotechnics method. The name of the method may be complicated, but in reality there should not be any difficulties in mastering it. In many ways, this method resembles associations. But here there is a certain difference. The peculiarity of mnemotechnics is the use of more tools for creating associations. Here are used rhymes, consonant words, codes of letters, assigning places, and other nuances. The network is literally full of all kinds of memorization. You can find entire collections on which you can easily learn all the rules of the road, relying on the method of mnemotechnics. For clarity, it is worth looking at a few interesting and really working examples. Hail Mary. This is a prayer, the full text of which is not necessary to know. It is enough to reduce it to 3 letters AVM. This is a great way to remember how to act if a vehicle suddenly stops at a railroad crossing. The letter A means an emergency signal, B means disembarkation of passengers, and M says that it is necessary to take measures to free the railroad crossing from the car, interference on the right. This method of mnemotechnics is known to almost everyone. It says that the one on the right is right, 3Ds. In the everyday life of a modern person, the word 3D is used very actively. Therefore, it will not be difficult for you to memorize the 3 letters D. There is a rule among drivers that requires giving way to a fool, USSR. There is no need to go back to the times of the Soviet Union. But this abbreviation is worth remembering. It helps you to act correctly when starting to drive. You need to first turn on the light, press the clutch, select speed, and remove the handbrake. Read also why the car stopped pulling uphill and what to do, and there are a huge number of such examples. With their help, it is much easier for future drivers to memorize a huge amount of information. Figurative thinking it means taking on the image of another person. In our case, this is a fully established driver, which a person is going to become as soon as he passes the traffic exam. Not everyone understands how to quickly learn tickets and exam questions on traffic rules, starting to think like a driver. In order to memorize the entire volume of the learned material better, try to imagine yourself as a driver. This is not done for a few minutes in front of a mirror. Just start thinking and acting like a person with experience driving a vehicle. It is not necessary to be behind the wheel. Evaluate the situation on the road from the outside. You can simply walk up to a busy stretch of road and watch how other cars pass intersections, react to different signs and inspectors' demands. If you are riding public transportation, try to sit near the driver and imagine that you are driving. Analyze your actions. Look at the signs. Think how you should act in this or that situation. Study the driver's mistakes and actions that you did not catch the essence of. This will give you the opportunity to form a number of questions and ask them to the teacher at the driving school. This method is based on understanding. To learn the rules, you should try to understand them on the final example. Understand the logic and features of actions. The future driver must understand why and why he acts exactly as indicated in the traffic rules. Constantly ask yourself questions and look for answers. Simulators technology never stands still. Therefore, nowadays it is extremely convenient and efficient to use the capabilities of computer technology and the internet. There are many programs and online simulators available on the web that help you to quickly memorize traffic tickets in motion, simulating, driving, or simply answering randomly appearing questions. Simulators come in a wide variety, and therefore it is worth trying all of them. This will give you a clear understanding of what method of memorization would be more inclined to, if you have not previously thought about it. Constant work on simulators allows you to automate the answers to questions when a person finds himself in real conditions in front of a computer taking the traffic rules exam directly at the driving school. But it is important to remember some nuances. Online simulators may work with outdated rules. Therefore, before you start training, check which year's traffic rules are included in the program. Also, 100% correct answers on the simulator does not guarantee that you will be able to pass all the tickets in the driving school without errors. This is a really effective method of training, which allows you to check the level of your knowledge. The experience of drivers and the practice of people who are preparing for exams on the rules of the road clearly prove that it is better to study tickets by different methods at the same time. But you should not overstretch your brain by studying 18 hours a day. The effectiveness of such training will be significantly reduced. Try to intelligently distribute your day, giving time for traffic tickets in the morning and afternoon for 2 to 3 hours. Even if you have a free hour, take a collection of rules, read a section, or run an online simulator. Studying the rules of the road is not necessary for the exam. It is only the first step on the way to becoming an experienced, responsible, and competent driver. Knowing the rules and the meaning of all the signs will prevent you from making mistakes or endangering other road users. Just knowing how to drive is not enough. You also need to understand how to remain a courteous and intelligent driver. In conclusion, Mastering the art of learning traffic tickets quickly can significantly enhance your understanding of road rules and regulations. By utilizing methods such as active recall, spaced repetition, and practical application, you can efficiently absorb and retain crucial information. Remember to stay organized, practice regularly, and engage with interactive resources to reinforce your knowledge. With dedication and the right strategies, you'll be well equipped to navigate the complexities of traffic laws and ensure safer driving for yourself and others. Thank you for watching, and best of luck on your journey to becoming a more informed driver.